Hello, and once again, we are live with the Modern Mystery School UK EU podcast and YouTube channel. And today I am joined by two people. Yes, normally it's one, but we have two beautiful guests joining me today. We have the lovely Kasia and the lovely Cecile. How are you both doing today?
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you for having
I'm super excited because this is the first one of its kind. And just to give a little bit of background, in the mystery school tradition, in the path of progression, the path of initiation, somebody that initiates you is called a guide, and they are there to support you in your spiritual growth and along the path. And so I thought it'd be fun to have people come on with their guides to tell us what benefits is there? I mean, is there any benefits at all, or is it just a load of nonsense, So Kasia, Cecile is your guide. Tell us, what benefits are there in life to having a spiritual guide?
Oh my goodness, it's such a tremendous blessing and a gift to have a guide. I feel Cecile been so supportive along my journey, and many times when I started, I wanted her to give me an answer. Who am I? What is my purpose? What do I need to heal? And guide, holds this beautiful, beautiful space for you to remember yourself and guiding you on the path of progression, so you can learn from within. And I think that's true love, that's true compassion and service, when you can empower another to find themselves, to remember who they are, and be that guiding light. And for me, Cecile been always an example where I can go, that guiding light. And wow, if she's done it, then maybe I can do it too. And then she would share what steps she's taken, what supported her. So it's been tremendously supportive and magical gift, because when we are guided to do something by ourselves and to remember by ourselves, no one can take that away from us. So it's that growth and expansion that comes, is just beautiful gift for life.
And Cecile, so if people are out there looking for a spiritual guide, what are the things that they should be looking for? Or is it kind of potluck and whoever turns up, they should just, that should be their guide?
Well, I don't know if you can really interview people for them to become your guide, but I do feel like in a way that relationship is almost fated, or like sometimes we're meant to meet. That's how it comes across, at least for me in my life and with the people I have had the privilege of guiding many times. But at the same time, I think it's really important to understand what a guide does, and how a guide is different from, let's say, a teacher, or even sometimes people say guru, because there's so many people out there who are looking for answers outside of themselves, or in a way, like, that's kind of a trap we can fall into, isn't it? And so we, as a guide, we are kind of doing the opposite of that. We're kind of the opposite of a guru, because we're never about telling people, what to do, never about kind of saying, oh, I'm here and you're there. We're always kind of saying, okay, I've achieved this in my life and you can do that as well, if you kind of, follow certain steps that only you can kind of take. But I can show you which steps have helped me. I think ultimately that's what a guide is about inspiring people to, become greater than they are, and potentially greater than the guide itself. I think as a guide, we always have to be extremely humble, because some of the time we guide people that have the potential to become, incredibly powerful and have amazing missions to fulfill. And so as a guide, we are basically there to enable them to do that, but never to kind of teach them what to do. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And Kasia, what would you say about looking out for, do you have some top tips or some points that you particularly might, look for, or others could look for?
I feel like there's this inner knowing. At least that's how it happened for me. When I met Cecile, I didn't know much about mystery school, but she had something that I wanted, even though I couldn't name it. So just following that inner knowing that inner guidance, when we feel called to do live activation, that we feel called to do empower thyself, and just following that instinct, in our heart. And then I think the relationship with each step, it grows. And as the guide is guiding us, there will be moments where we might feel challenged by our guides, because they will see our greater potential, and we will have to take those steps. So that's also that beautiful relationship where we are not mothered, we're not like snuggle with just love. We sometimes there is a tough love, and knowing that when we choose the guide, that they will guide us to our greatness, that they will show us the steps that we can take to remember, to embody. So for me, I would say follow that inner knowing, even if the mind doesn't understand, because I didn't understand, but my heart knew.
And that's a really good point, Cecile. What do you think? I mean, should a guide and the person they're guiding be should they be like best buddies, or, and like Kasia said, like mother? What's important?
Yeah, it's funny that, because obviously when you are someone's guide, it can be a very long term. It really is actually a very long term relationship. And how much the person that you're guiding chooses to interact with you is a bit up to them in that sense, right? It's like, as a guide, we never kind of force check-ins or things like that. But the more the person who is receiving the guidance is actually seeking it out, the more they can in a way benefit when it's done correctly. But at the same time, we have to avoid a little bit the trap of becoming too close or too intimate, in the sense that as a guide, you always kind of have to hold that space where you respect the person's process and their person's growth, individual growth, and you can't kind of become too familiar in that sense. But it's kind of a fine line to navigate, because obviously you spend a lot of time together, and you get to know each other really well. So I think at the beginning, sometimes there can be a bit of confusion, or, oh, is this person my friend now, or is that my family now, or is this what is this relationship, and then sometimes some projections can happen, so sometimes people can feel, oh, but you're being like my mother now, or that is happening, and that can all be part of the healing process. But I think as a guide, it's really important to just always come back to that a center point where we know within ourselves that we're just there to hold space for that growth of the individual person, and to show them what potentially could be their next step, and how they could continue to grow.
Now I'm going to ask a very hard question, and so this is to both of you. Is a guide perfect? Do they know everything, and is their life perfect? Are they all knowing, all seeing? Is that the whole point of being a guide? Or having a guide?
I definitely am not perfect. Yeah. That was, yeah. Kasia, go ahead, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is a beauty for your guide not to be perfect. I think it gives the space for growth and this humbleness, and because sometimes I think we can be harsh on ourselves when we're going through the process of progression and growth. We want to do everything right, but if we see that our guide is so amazing and we inspire to be like them, but they also evolving, that kind of, it put me at peace, like, oh wow, if my guide is so amazing already, but she or he is still, growing, then the growth is ongoing, and it's beautiful. There is this, it was putting me actually at ease, the imperfection, even though Cecile, you are so amazing, and I always look up to you. You're so inspiring, but it's lovely to see also that we all growing.
I mean, it is a big responsibility to be a guide, because you kind of know within yourself that you want to hold the highest standard possible for the persons that the people that you're serving. So you want to be perfect, but the reality is we are all, like, we have our blind spots as well, right? So we continue to evolve and learn through that interaction and through that service to others, and the work we do with others. We continue to learn. And personally, I feel it's always been important for me to kind of be transparent about that I'm not perfect, like that. I might be as perfect as I can be in this moment in time, but I'm striving to be even better tomorrow, you know, and I'm willing to learn from all the experiences I have with the people that I work with. And so that's kind of at the core of this path, really, isn't it? Like kind of to continue to evolve, because it's never really done, this work, in a way.
Yeah. And I think that's the key point, isn't it? That you both pointed out, on a true path of progression, we're always polishing the philosopher's stone. We're always moving forward, always expanding, always growing, and always humble enough to say, hey, maybe I don't know this, but I'll go and find out, or maybe I don't know this, let's find out together, or, you know, whatever it is. So I think, you know, that's for me, one of the main things is, when looking for a spiritual guide, is look for somebody who's actually evolving and progressing themselves, because, you know, that's going to be a key indicator that it's a true lineage path. And now the time has whizzed by.
Oh my gosh, it has.
I know. So let's make a promise to all come back on together and talk more about guidehood and looking for spiritual guides, because I think it's a great topic to discuss. We have plenty more to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you both.
Thank you so much for hosting us. Thank you so much, both. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Cecile, as well, for being such an amazing guide. And thank you, Ipsissima, for holding this
space. Such an honor, always. I mean, for me, the greatest joy is to see what happens when people take the tools of the lineage and do so much with it, like you have, Kasia. It's just incredible to see. So I love seeing that. Thank you.
Thank you both for sharing, and thank you all for joining us, and see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.